I can't think of a single thing which hasn't benefited from the creation of the chip. Well, maybe one. This week on Click, we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of perhaps the most important invention in electronics. We pay homage to the creation that changed everything, and we ask, what next? Many hands make light work. We're combining social networking with photography to give some truly three-dimensional results. Plus, Kate Russell's ventured to the furthest corners of the web so you don't have to, and she's returned triumphant with the latest webscape. Welcome to Click, I'm Spencer Kelly. Next month sees the 50th anniversary of the microchip. And before you ask, it wasn't made in Silicon Valley. In fact, it wasn't even made of silicon. No, the first working integrated circuit came from Dallas. And so began the race for ever faster processing speed, Moore's law and all that jazz. Today, chip makers have set themselves an equally challenging goal. Dan Simmons made the pilgrimage to the place where it all began to find out what chips might be doing in the future. Apart from going with fish.
Made in Dallas in 1958 by a guy called Jack Kilby, today the microchip is in just about everything that's electronic. Jack realised that if all the bits of an electric circuit were made from the same material, then it could be printed on a single chip. It would be much smaller than this, his prototype, and easily mass-produced. 3 years after music changed forever, this was electronics rock and roll. At the time, Jack had just joined Texas Instruments. He went on to invent the electric portable calculator, something the company is perhaps still best known for. Less well known is the fact that today's TI is busy trying to break another electronic frontier. I got suited and booted to go inside TI's fabrication labs. Today, the company is the world's third largest chip maker. These silicon wafers will go to make up millions of chips, produced mostly for other companies to use. But researchers here don't just seek more powerful processors, they also want them to need hardly any power at all. Achieve this goal and suddenly all sorts of things become possible. This is the first demonstration model of a projector inside the shell of a mobile phone. Hundreds of thousands of microscopic mirrors inside the handset flip with tiny amounts of energy, reflecting the right colours to make up the picture. Battery life here is key. If it needed as much power as a standard projector, the show would be over in a few minutes.
So in designing this Pico projector, but with the use of LED illumination in the chip along with other components, we've engineered it to last longer. Because you want to use a cell phone, right? So you don't want it to be taking all this power by using the projector. So by designing it to at least last an hour and a half, it allows our customers to manufacture it to be a very usable device.
It's hoped the first products using this miniature technology will go on sale next year. And from low battery power to no battery power at all. You may remember an experiment like this from a physics lesson at school. The grapes produce tiny amounts of energy, but it's enough to run the clock.
An experiment like this is important because it's showing us that we can generate electricity from all the elements around us. In this case, we're taking a couple pieces of fruit and a couple pieces of metal, and we're running the clock. So we're just showing you that at TI we've created systems that are so low power, they can sample sensors and transmit information wirelessly without the need for battery, and they will last forever.
August 2007, and a bridge across the Mississippi River collapses without warning. 13 people were killed. It's thought the 40-year-old crossing suddenly gave way because of an undetected structural weakness. Now, TI wants to use the very vibrations that may weaken a bridge to power sensors that would monitor for structural damage. As long as a bridge is used regularly, the vibrations of the traffic provide enough power so that it can essentially monitor itself and relay the data back to inspectors. And this is a prototype of the kind of sensor that will be needed. It's got a copper-coloured material on the back which is optimised for transferring vibrations into electricity. On the front is the world's lowest powered microprocessor and a radio chip. Now on this one over here we've got a bit of Velcro because we're going to put it on this fish tank pump. Not exactly a bridge, but it does the job. And we'll turn that on, and now without any battery or traditional power at all, it's sending the data it's collecting wirelessly to the PC. I wonder what my toothbrush could power. The new buzz phrase is energy scavenging, not just solar power, but capturing energy from any light source, any sound, any vibration, any heat. An office or home might produce 3 milliwatts of energy, a car engine a similar amount, and that's now enough to run diagnostics, monitor and control other things.
Wouldn't it be great to have a smoke alarm where you never change the batteries out? And it wasn't plugged into the mains, it would be wherever you wanted to put it, and you just simply stick it on the wall and it becomes your smoke alarm for that particular place. And then, if you get scavenge the energy correctly, that smoke alarm can actually talk to other alarms. So when this one goes off and your bedroom door is closed, the one in your bedroom can also go off, just with the energy that can be scavenged from a normal household environment, both the light, the vibration, and temperature and such.
David's even adapted this mobile phone to run on solar power. At the moment, the panels would need to be 6 times larger than this one to power the call on its own. But the benefits of low-power chips are clear. So just how far can things go?
There's this whole new regime of technology that nobody knows about, or end products that nobody knows about because we've never been able to do the perpetual device. The perpetual device is a device that needs no power to do its function. It just does it. And you have to step back and think a minute, why would I want such a thing? Or better yet, what could I do differently?
If scavenging energy from the world around us is to work, then the devices that we use will also have to work with a lot less energy. 50 years on since the first chip left this place, these Texans not only think small is beautiful, but less is more.
And relax. Dan Simmons reporting on the birth of a tiny technology which has had a massive impact on the world. And if you disagree, well, you're wrong. Okay, want to know what the biggest technology stories are right now? Well, you're in luck. Here they come.
And while we're marking the 50th anniversary of the chip, the world's largest producer, Intel, has announced its plans for new high-end 8-core processors. The new chip architecture is able to shut down any cores which aren't being used to save energy. They're expected to be used in servers and very high-end desktops next year. There are calls for tighter privacy laws in Germany after officials found they were able to buy 6 million items of personal data on the internet, including bank account details and phone numbers. The data protection officers suspect call centres and lottery firms are trading the data, which they were able to pick up for just €850. Prosecutors are now investigating. UK gamer Isabella Bowinski has been ordered to pay £16,000 for illegally sharing a video game via the web. No, not GTA 4, but Dream Pinball 3D. US game developer Topware had its case heard in London's Patents County Court, where they were awarded £6,000 in damages plus £10,000 in costs. 3 other gamers suspected of sharing the title are waiting damages hearings. Watch out for Widget TV. Yahoo and Intel have teamed up to make the screens we watch in future more web-aware and deliver info updates to our screens that can be tailored by the viewer. These are shots from a similar setup in development at Nortel we saw last month. Expect web TVs in the shops next year, and expect advertisers to be just as excited about it as anyone else.
These days, everyone's a photographer. Even if you don't have a dedicated camera on you, I bet you got one on your mobile phone. And as a result, we are inundated with images. And some, sure, you'll be happy to email to Uncle Jack or Aunt Flo. But there are more imaginative ways to look at our and everyone else's view of the world. Richard Taylor gives it his best shot.
What do you do with your photos? If they're just sitting on your PC, shame on you. There's so much more that can be done. At the very least, release them from their sheltered existence. Share them with friends, family, or even the world. Sites like Flickr have made child's play of just that. And you can help people to find them with identifying features, so-called tags, like theme, mood, even colour. Now, one of the most popular forms of tagging is by location. It's called geotagging, and it means I can take my camera phone, point it at a world-famous landmark, in this case Eros in central London, and because this camera phone has a dedicated GPS receiver on board, it can record exactly where I was in the world when I took that particular snap. You're also going to start seeing cameras with dedicated GPS receivers coming out in the next year or two as well. So, we know where I was when I took the snap. The question now is what we can do with that information. Google has done a fine job of marrying the GPS location data of where you actually took the photo onto an easily navigable map of the world. But even though you might have dozens of photos at the same place, they simply sit alongside one another. So how about combining or synthesizing the various images that you've got? On a very basic level, it's been easy to create a panorama of images in a camera just by taking various photos and stitching them together either inside the camera or even afterwards on a piece of software on your computer. But that relies on you being effectively rooted to the spot. What if you wanted to take photos that you've taken from different angles and merge all of them together? Or, better still, maybe invoke that very Web 2.0 concept of social networking and getting other people's photos of the same landmark and merging all of those together. Now that would be very cool. Something like this, perhaps, creating a three-dimensional scene which you can fly around and explore at will. Not bad, eh? Oh look, there I am doing my piece to camera. So, how's this magic achieved? Well, what's needed initially are a fair few photos. Q running furiously around Eros, taking shots at different angles and perspectives. I was helped by this chap here, Paul Foster, who's an evangelist for this new synthing technology.
The synth is actually looking to present your photos in relation to each one. And to do that, it's finding those key data points in each photograph and then trying to map them into additional photographs. So to have a good synth, you need to have pictures that overlap so that you can then use the synth to construct that scene, to construct your virtual world. The ability for computers to actually look into a picture now and determine aspects of that picture so it can be mapped to a location in the world without knowing geotagging or any other information about the image. Just having that image, you'll be able to ask queries of that image. Where is the place? What is the place? How good is the food at that place?
For months, the PhotoSynth website has been showing off its potential with some custom collections. But this week it's finally handing over the keys to us to make our own photos into collections as well. So, shots in hand, what do you actually need to make it work? Well, aside from a bunch of similar photos of a scene, you'll need to download the PhotoSynth software onto a well-spec'd PC with a decent graphics card. Once you've ingested the photos, the application takes over, blending them by looking for areas of similarity between them. It then uses complex maths to recreate the 3D-like environment, and that's where the fun really begins, because you take over, using the on-screen controls or keyboard to navigate your way around the scene. You can zoom in quickly to see intricate details in the photos, or fly to see a different perspective altogether, all remarkably quickly. Aside from the visual eye candy it offers, photosynthing, yes, there's a new term, could get us thinking differently about the entire photo sharing experience.
I think friends are going to be using this when they go to gigs and events and festivals to take photographs from different angles, different perspectives, and they can montage those perspectives together to create a wonderful 3D browsable panorama. And if Microsoft are really clever, they'll then integrate photosynth with virtual Earth. Instead of going up and down in cars wasting petrol money that Google have been doing, they can ask people to take photographs of their community, of their towns, of their cities, send in the photographs, and then Microsoft's got those raw resources they can use to turn into 3D cities.
The vision analysis technology, a lot of it has been around for a while, but what we have done is create several new techniques that are new. So not only analysing images, but reconstructing that virtual 3D world from those image files. And then combining that with the Sea Dragon technology that enables you to quickly receive your information over the web to view those photographs. And to view those photographs not just quickly, but in a 3D setting in relation to each other.
And the same maths is being put to work by researchers working on ways to scan objects in incredible detail. What we're seeing today is just the tip of the proverbial iceberg. In future, there's the promise that photographs will yet again change the way we look at the world.
So, even if you don't get to travel to far-flung places, you can still bring great 3D visions of the outside world to your PC. Next up, someone who's always happy to go the extra mile. And this week, Kate Russell looks at a couple of ways to get the best out of the web while using a mobile phone. Here's Webscape.
Many modern mobile phones come internet ready, so if you're a website host yourself, it would be pretty smart to make sure you have a mobile-friendly version of your site for maximum coverage. Enter ubic.com, an awesome site where you can create just such a place in a few simple steps.
On the opening page are displayed some examples of sites created with this software. Click on a thumbnail to open the web emulator, which allows you to see how the site can be browsed when it goes live. When you're ready to create your site, there are just 4 simple steps. Adding your own content to the pages is really intuitive. Just click and load, switching between the pages in the panel on the left. Remember, you'll need to work from the bottom up to change the links, as you have to name the page you want to link to before it will appear in the options. When you're done, it's just click to publish. Register with the site, and after activating your account, you can finish the publish process and be delivered a URL where it's hosted. Easy.
Talking of content for your mobile, it can be hard to find specific web pages to browse on your handset. What is the point of having an expensive internet-ready phone if you can't find anything worth surfing? Unless, of course, you go to zabido.com/push.
You can load up your favourites for on the go at this cunning search engine. Using this couldn't be easier. Just plug your mobile phone number, remembering to include the country code, into the box provided, and then click to download. A message will be sent to your phone which asks you to download the application, complete with step-by-step instructions. On my phone, this was downloaded to the Games directory, but it might be different for different handsets. When you launch the app for the first time, you'll need to set up an account. Then you can start surfing for mobile-specific content straight away. As well as offering a search box for direct terms, there are some nice predefined categories listed too. I like the site of the day for some random surfing experience. Do remember though, while you're connected to Zabido and any of the sites it leads you to, there may be call charges from your mobile operator, which will depend on your tariff.
I want to show you a neat new movie site now. It features blockbuster movies and also a whole raft of classics and TV series, and is a 100% legal download site with a natty little twist.
Blinkbox.com is the URL you need. Here you can watch clips or blinks of the movies on offer and then choose to download them for purchase or rental at a cost. Aside from the rental and purchases, as a review and trailer destination, this website really delivers. The clips are nicely packaged and load pretty fast, with a synopsis and reviews displayed below. There are over 1,500 films on offer, and if you scroll to the bottom of the TV section, there's a spattering of free ad-funded TV for you to enjoy. And the natty twist is that if you see a clip in the Blink section that you like and want to recommend it to other people, you can do so by simply clicking to share this Blink and entering their email. If you're a paying customer, you can make your own Blinks from your favourite movies downloaded and even personalise them with a message. Now for the bad news. This site is only licensed for UK customers to buy and rent at the moment, but the site creators tell me they will be rolling out in Europe early next year and have plans to take on the rest of the world in the future too. So watch this blink.
A really quick bite of another cool cherry now, a site I found when I was stumped by a missing DLL message. You'll find it at dll-files.com.
DLL stands for Dynamic Link Library and is a file containing a library of executable functions or data required to run a program. But you don't need to worry about that. Just note down the name of the missing file from the error message, plug it into the search box on this site, and then download and follow the instructions for installation. Couldn't be simpler, really.
Well, I'm afraid that's all I have time to show you today. As usual, the ever-helpful Spencer will be pointing you towards our website in a tick, where you'll find links to all the pages we've visited today, because we're nice like that.
We are, aren't we? Thank you, Kate. And if you missed anything from today's programmes, including the links to Kate's website suggestions, go to our website, bbc.co.uk/click. Drop us a line. Tell us about some sites that you've come across you want to tell the world about, or anything else. Email click@bbc.co.uk. And if you want to watch the whole caboodle again, you can for the next 7 days using the BBC iPlayer. That's bbc.co.uk/iPlayer. Have fun, take care, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.